So we today have to think about smart manufacturing and saying, where do we make parts and still bring them here so we can control our quality, our deliveries, our time. And think that more and more, if more companies do that, you have an opportunity. If on the other hand, which is a big challenge, if we didn't have the structure we do, like when I was asked a question in this Dearborn about what is your perspective of smart manufacturing, I said we control our destiny. If you don't control your destiny, you can't be smart. We are a vertically integrated company from manufacturing to retail to distribution. If we made products and we had to sell to somebody else, the chances are we'll reduce our quality because of pressures, we'll reduce our prices, we'll reduce our quality and be out of business. Now, in our enterprise, we have about 2,000 interior designers. They can explain a product, they can explain good quality. If we didn't have them, we would be doing like most American manufacturers is, try to compete on price alone and not improve quality. The reason we are selling in Japan, which is the reason we are selling in China, we have 70 locations in China, is because of our quality and the consistency. So smart manufacturing in the United States is a major, major challenge. But today, if you don't think of innovative ways of manufacturing, you can't survive. But they said we want to duplicate the Ethan Allen system in China. They came to see us. So I was intrigued. They were very, they were smart. They had, and I said, okay, then I'm going to Urumqi to look at what you have, and we'll talk over there. So I went there. I liked what they were doing, and I asked them finally, I said, who's going to do it? They said, you tell us what to do, and we'll do it. I thought, there were 5 of them there. They had plants, but, I looked at them and I said, these folks, they can do it.
Didn't you worry about them copying your furniture and shipping it
Anybody
to the
can
US
copy
market?
our furniture. They're already doing it.
Okay.
So copying furniture is very easy. In fact, that's the easiest thing to do in our industry. Now, so anyway, we sat down, we thrashed out an agreement. And I tired them out. I was the whole night going over the details, and finally in the morning they said, just tell us what to do and we'll even sign it. And they did. And finally they started it. And I must tell you this, that is the story of China. They're innovative, they're disciplined, they want to invest, they want to, and even are willing to invest in many other places. They haggle with you. They try to see many countries in the world that we deal with. They said no. We'll just tell us what to do, and we'll do it. So we started, and they, in 10 years, now have 70 locations. Well, look at, there's nothing enduring right here. We are an 80-year-old or young enterprise. If we did not constantly reinvent, we'll be out of business. So reinvention is a key, and that you have to be relevant. If you're not relevant in the United States, and we are not relevant in China or in Korea and other places, we're not going to be out of business. Only way we can continue is not to say we got a great Ethan Allen brand and he was a great patriot and all that. Not going to work. We've got to be relevant for our times. We are making major changes right here. In fact, we are reintroducing to some degree our brand this fall to the consumer, right here in the United States. If we didn't do that, the chances are we'll not be relevant right here. Mm-hmm. When there is a lot of competition, you got to differentiate yourself. Now, there certainly is there is more competition, and it's certainly a lot of people who are doing well, perhaps are not doing well. But if you have a brand that you can differentiate with quality, with service, design, and really be able to get that message across, you have an opportunity, especially at a time when there is a lot of chaos taking place. And that's where it is. You've got to be, yes, if you say in a macro level, is things going down? Most probably yes. But does this create an opportunity where to differentiate? Yes. So you really have to be very relevant and very smart to take that opportunity. I think if you're talking on a macro level, global level, forget Ethan Allen, I think there's no question that we're going to have turmoil, more turmoil, whether it's in the Middle East, in Africa, South Asia. The reason is this, that you talked about earlier, we were talking about mountain climbing, right? Mm-hmm. You were asking me about Kilimanjaro and all of that.
Yes.
I said, if you're a mountain climber, you know, if you go too fast, too high, you get water in your lungs. You've got 2 options, die or come down, right? So a lot of people, some people don't want to come down. I think this globalization has been like going on a mountain too fast.
Too fast.
Too fast. And the result is we are now getting water in our lungs and people don't know. So my organization over here, I mean, I give this example, I say constantly, if we are going too fast, I say, okay, I'm going to take you down. Nothing wrong in coming down. But the problem is you can't do that with the world that is taking place, where you have this technology, where you have this information age, where you have expectations. That the world has changed. The problem is that these expectations are going to create tremendous turmoil because hard to meet those expectations. The Great Recession, was a wake-up call, especially in our industry.
Really?
It was a wake-up call for our industry. We had never, for 80 years, had a decline for a total year. For 2 years, we're down 40%. We went from making $150 million to almost zero in 2 years. Now, this was like, it was a shock to our system. So we looked at every element. For instance, our manufacturing, that in our wood manufacturing, for instance, we were making 200-300 tables at a time or 100. Said we can't compete with Southeast Asia. So we said, let's bring in technology, let's consolidate so that we can make one at a time, but in 50 different options, colors, finished. And that's what we are doing. So in 1 year time, we converted all our manufacturing to custom manufacturing. So now we can do things that's hard to do in manufacturing, even in China. Like for instance, we are shipping to them our sofas and chairs, which are available in 1,000 fabrics, and we are shipping to them in less than 4 weeks a custom product from the United States.
To a Chinese customer?
No, we're shipping it from here. We're shipping now in about 3 weeks from the US, and the Chinese customer was probably 8 or 10 weeks, which is, hard to do right in the United States. That gives us an opportunity to differentiate in China.